What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Amaziah here, bringing you guys another quote from the Famitsu article. This one is coming from Aitai Kimochi, if I'm not mistaken, and I hope I didn't butcher that at all. So let's go ahead and get right into what it has to say, as this is about our boy Lee, which is one of my favorite personal Kingdom Hearts characters, definitely up there in my top 10 because of Axel. Of course, they're the same fucking person because of Axel. But let's go ahead and get into it. It says Lee has a deep connection with Roxas. He and Kyrie begin their Keyblade training when he thinks about the sunset. He remembers peaceful days spent with his best friend at the clock tower. So that's mind blowing because it pretty much is confirming to us that him and Roxas do have a deep connection, and this deep connection I'm 100% sure has to do what it mentions later on, in which it says he remembers peaceful days spent with his best friend at the clock tower. Now, if you remember, one of the plot lines that didn't go anywhere within Kingdom Hearts 305 Days Over 2, and I don't know why they didn't touch on it, is the relationship between, of course, Syx and Axel, or Lee and Isa. And we start to see these signs of these two old best friends, as we saw in Birth by Sleep, as they start to fall apart. And of course, that's one of the stories I always wanted to be told. With it saying that, of course, Roxas is now his best friend, meaning Lee's best friend as well. I wonder if this means that, of course, whether or not Axel will ever come back, or will they just replace him with Lee. This could also mean that there could be something like here with the plot line when it comes to Lee, of him actually reverting back to Axel, or potentially the same thing happening with Axel. Now, if I remember correctly, though, in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, when Lee gets up, Lee is actually speaking to Roxas. Like, the whole scene that occurs between him and Roxas is actually them two talking to each other. So that Roxas that's sitting there saying, "Do you remember you said you'd always bring us back?" And he's like, "Yeah, best friends forever." And he gets up and he says, "Roxas," that's him actually talking to the real Roxas, the same one that was sitting there with actual Axel. So who knows, of course, whether or not these two characters can communicate with one another, and maybe that's what it actually means by Lee has a deep connection. Maybe when Lee sleeps, he actually does visit Roxas. As we know, Roxas will play a pivotal, important part of Kingdom Hearts 3, and of course, saying that they have a deep connection, yes, it definitely has something to do with Axel, I'm pretty sure of it, but of course, in Dream Drop Distance as well, he was actually talking to the real Roxas as he tried to wake him up by telling him, "You told us you would always be there to bring us back." And Lee gets up, remembering that. And this is why he goes to Yen Sid to actually try his best to learn how to use the Keyblade. But of course, he also had to dive into the realm of sleep to go save our boys, Riku and Sora, from the clutches of Master Xehanort. So I think it's pretty cool, of course, to hear this, and obviously to see that he does still have those memories, because it is kind of weird that Sora, never really went through all of the memories and stuff that Roxas had. But when it came to, of course, Dream Drop Distance, Roxas had to legitimately show him himself those memories. But with this, it's like, Lee has the memories apparently, and at the same time too, he could potentially have a deep connection with Roxas in a sense that he can actually communicate with him. That is something that we saw in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, in which Roxas actually woke him up by telling him, you know, "You told us you would always be there to bring us back." So I can't wait to see what goes on with my boy. I'm hoping that Lee has something to do with the resurrection of Roxas. Of course, potentially, relaying information to them from Roxas, from wherever the hell he is. Of course, we know he's within Sora, but of course he was able to speak to Lee in Dream Drop Distance. So I'm hoping that with that, of course, he can also I guess you could say kind of speak to Lee. I'm hoping that that's what they mean by connection, as we did have that in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. But this is being your boy Amaziah, bringing you guys just a little bit of information. Once again, thanks to Atai Kimochi for bringing us this. Man, Lee is one of my favorite characters, definitely one of my top 10s, and I hope that we also get to touch on his connection with Syx, or Isa, whichever one you want to call him, because they had a cool friendship in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. And I mean, Kingdom Hearts has been doing a lot to give a lot of exposition on characters and their backgrounds, but I mean, that's the one story when it comes to like Lee and Axel themselves that they haven't actually talked about yet, and I want to see that as well. And of course, with it stating that Roxas is his best friend, he sees Roxas as his best friend as well. Then of course, I can't wait to see, of course, how this plays out with Syx or Isa. So let me know what you guys think about it. This has been your boy Amaziah. Don't forget to do a little A-class gaming and everything you do. Don't forget to keep it A-class. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one, but don't forget to also follow me on Twitter at AmaziahYT. Links in the description and pinned comment. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace the heck out.
What's left of me?